All right, one more candle. Perfect. Can I go ahead and get, let's see, one person from group 1? Just go ahead and yell out, what was your favorite thing at breakfast today? The tofu. Wait, the big tofu or the small tofu? The small tofu, perfect. That one was also my favorite. All right, so I hope everyone got a good breakfast today, all fueled up and ready to get the day started. I just wanted to officially welcome you all to the first full day of conference today. We have a very packed schedule. It's gonna be very exciting. Also, I just wanted to make a quick shout out to those of you joining in on our live stream. Thank you so much to our online viewers for also attending this conference virtually, and I hope you enjoy the classes that are to come. So, first up, are you guys ready for your first class of conference? That was people in the back are really excited, and people at the front are not so much excited. So let's go and try that again. Are you excited for the first class of conference? Alrighty. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me bring myself back a little bit. I'm glad you all are excited because our first class of conference is going to be themed around community. Specifically, what makes our TC community special? What draws people in? What makes people stay? So, to help us go ahead and learn about the TC community that we have, let's go ahead and welcome Daniel to the stage to lead our first class in Unity Community.
Good morning, everyone. How are y'all doing? Good? All right, we all excited for conference? Yeah? How many of you are first-timers at conference, like in person or virtually? Wow, a lot of you, okay. How many of you joined Chang when you started college? Okay. How many of you knew about Chang or Chang before college? More of you, okay. How many of you have some sort of general understanding about Chang and our community feelings? Or like you felt that way in your own chapters? Okay. All right, so this talk will be focused on our TC communities within our own chapters, as well as how do we extend those feelings to those that we serve. Okay? So the agenda for this class, the agenda for this class is we're going to start with a warm-up. You will need technology for that. And then I'm going to talk about my Chang story, and I'm going to invite one or two of you from the audience to share your own stories. And then we're going to tie in how do we bridge our TC community to those that we serve. And then to wrap up, we're going to do some activities and then conclude. Okay? So the learning objectives for this class are to understand the community feeling that we create and how we extend those to those that we serve, as I've mentioned before. So who knows me? I want you to take a guess as to which one of these three is a lie, because this is for research purposes, not really. So what do we think is a lie? B. Why do we think B? Okay, yeah, I forgot. So yes, B is a lie. I am left-handed. I technically was only a part of Chang for 2.5 years, including the pandemic years, and I have been in TC for 22 years. So who am I? I'm a Chang baby, blah, blah, blah. I am from the Northwest region. I do not have a chapter of my own, so I just belong to the office. I help mentor the TCCA high school group program here in the Northwest region. You'll probably find me at sutra performances / sign language practice because I get dragged into those things a lot. And I have been doing disaster relief with Chang for quite a few years, since around 2017. Okay, and so that's me at the Campfire Disaster Relief Center back in 2018, which, if you don't know, Campfire was the worst fire in California history. And that's me in sign language. All right, so we're going to start with a Slido discussion. At this point, Tim, can you bring up the Slido, please? And the Slido question is, what do you think of when you hear the word community? So use your phones, scan the QR code, or go to slido.com and enter that code. And type in words that you think of when you hear the word community. TV show. That's interesting. Okay. People. People is good. People is important. Ohama means family. Singularity. Alan Tien. Alan Tien, did you nominate yourself? It's okay. Curriculum nominated me when we just run this. These are some great words or phrases. Okay, so you all put some great words. And a lot of these words, I'm sure, are how you decided to join and stay in Tzu. They definitely are how I joined and stayed in Tzu or Tzu. As I mentioned before, I've been in Tzu for 22 years, and I have loved the community that we create. I think it's one that you can't find anywhere else, especially with the relationships with our sigils and sibuas and our mentors, right? They took really good care of us, or continue to take, and will continue to take. And in the future, when hopefully we are all teaching chapter advisors, we're going to take really good care of the next generation of leaders. Okay? Does anyone want to share their own Tzu stories? / should we just volunteer someone to do it? Okay, you want to share?
Well, I joined TC because my roommate Josh was in it, and how he described it to me was a cute veggie org that wears vegetable costumes, and they walk around campus and they give vegetarian food. So when I first came, I didn't really have any friends, so I joined, and as I got to know people and help volunteer, I really liked the community and all the people in it, and it encouraged me to become the volunteer coordinator for this coming semester. So yeah, that's my story.
Thanks for sharing. Does anyone else want to share? Okay, we have another one at table 2.
Hi, I'm Pablo. I'll explain why Alan Tian is so big. It's because I knew Alan, for example, since high school, and we both ended up going to the same college. And then I saw him on the bus, and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, hey." And he's like, "Hey, you should come with me." Hello? Oh, to this org. And I was like, "Okay." They're vegetarian, and I was vegetarian too. And yeah, just a lot of friends there, and it was great. And he's gotten a lot of people also, at Texas A&M, to go to Chi, and yeah. So there's always someone that I think, shows people what Tsuchi is about and introduces them, like with Sam and Josh. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. So, see, when we make connections with others, we're easily attached to what they're interested in, and we want to participate with them just to spend quality time with them, right? And I guess that's why Alan Tien is up there, because he's probably really good at doing that, but I don't know him because I did not go to Texas A&M. Okay, any other stories, or should I just move on? I'm going to move on. Okay, AV, can we get the slides back up, please? Okay, so now we're going to bridge our TCCA chapter community to those that we serve. Okay, so remember in TCCA that we have 3 guiding principles. Okay, does anyone know what those guiding principles are? I'll give you a hint. They start with consonants. I bet someone knows. Yeah. Yeah, it is GRL. Our 3 guiding principles of TCCA are gratitude, respect, and love. Okay? Gratitude, we can define as being thankful or showing appreciation and returning kindness. So, for example, in TC, that can be demonstrated by volunteering your time, or sharing joys, or being thoughtful and considerate to others. Are there other examples that you can think of, maybe that you've practiced or experienced in your own chapters or life? Yes. Yes, gratitude towards yourself is definitely also very important too. Thank you for sharing. Other examples? Giving gifts, yes. Others? Respect, we can define as admiration or consideration for others. So that's like understanding others, being polite, saying please and thank you, so showing manners basically. There's probably hundreds of examples. Does anyone want to identify one more? Nope. Okay. Love is affection, liking, and warmth. Oops. And remember, it's also loving yourself and others. Okay? So to show love, we can spend time with others and yourself. Self-care is important too. Being nice to your parents and helping others that are not related to you. For example, at disaster reliefs or any volunteering events. In sake of time, we're just going to start moving into the activity. So the activity, we're going to do some skits. And the focus of this skit is to create a scenario where you or your group goes to perform a TC service event. So you're going to identify a situation, express how the recipients feel at first and then at the end. And you're going to just demonstrate how volunteers make our recipients feel more cheered up and empowered. Okay, that's a little broad. We're going to do an example in a little bit before I send you off. So you're going to have about 10 minutes to make the skit with your group. And then we're going to do as many presentations as we can and also have a short discussion. And so some examples, if you can't think of any, are nursing home visits, tutoring, or food pantries and soup kitchens, and or any other TCCA or teaching service events that helps others. So some more guidelines should focus on one or all of the 3 principles that we talked about. First, act out the feelings of the recipients, meaning those that we're serving. Trying to understand their suffering. And then our volunteers will come in and perform some act of goodness. And then the recipients will reflect on how they feel after experiencing our help. So at this time, I'm going to just set the stage for the scenario. And I'm going to invite Brian and Erica up on the stage with me. Yay! We love Brian and Erica. Okay, so the situation is we're at a disaster relief event. This is a true story, by the way. This is something I experienced at a disaster relief event at Chico. We love walkie-talkies too. So I manage the waiting area usually. And so my main responsibilities are to check in people, provide information about Tzu, and just connect with our recipients. Recipients are usually feeling distressed and or disbelieved when they come to us. In this scenario, our recipient will start to face a harsh reality through a phone call. And then our volunteers, Erica and I, will go and check in with our recipient and comfort them. And we're going to give recipient tissues, hugs, and comforting words, except we don't have tissues, so we're just going to give them something else. And then we're going to make sure that they're not alone. Okay, so let's test this out.
Hello. Is this where the disaster relief support for Tzu is?
This is. Do you have an appointment with us today?
I do. It is at 8:30. My
Okay.
home was affected by the California wildfires.
Okay, we're really sorry to hear that. Can we see your check-in time so I can get you through here as quickly as possible?
Yes, here it is.
Okay, you're good. And just have a seat over there.
Okay.
Hey, Erica, do you want to go see what he's up to? Yeah. He looks disturbed.
He looks a little distressed. I wonder what's wrong.
Sir, is everything okay?
Well, I just got a call from my family. They were looking through the remains of our home, and we had a cat, Mufasa, and they just found his body. So it's a really hard time. I mean, we lost many other things, but I really, really love that cat.
We're really sorry to hear about your loss. Are you okay? Do you need anything from us?
Yeah, maybe a hug or two.
We're just going to leave it at that. All right, so that's the rough idea. Thank you. So that's a rough idea for the skit. So we'll just break you off into your own individual teams for about 20 minutes or 10 minutes-ish. And then we'll reconvene around 9:18. That's a very awkward time. We'll reconvene. We'll give you a signal when to come back. But yeah, if you need to, feel free to use outside the lobby area, wherever you want, and we'll try and get everyone back at 9:18.
Pacific is our great land. Love and joy our gentle breeze. Dharma is our wholesome reign. Diligence our warming sun. Helping seeds of kindness grow. We uproot
his smiling face. Left, right, round and round my house I look. Warmth and love and blooms I see. Outside the sun is shining happily for my friends and family. Now I've learned if desires, hopes and wants are few, happiness will come to you. Mother Earth should give so much to share. If we show her love, we care. And if we can all be like family, happiness will shine everywhere. Left, right, round and round my house I look. Warmth and love and blooms I see. Outside the sun is shining happily for my friends and family. Now I've learned if desires, hopes and wants are few, happiness will come to you. Mother Earth should give so much to share. If we show her love, we care. And if we can all be like family, happiness will shine everywhere. Now I've learned if desires, hopes and wants are few, happiness will come to you. Mother
Test,
Earth
test,
should
test.
give so much to share. If we show her love, we care. And if we can all be like family, happiness will shine everywhere. La, 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 la.
Okay, this is a 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. Be back in your seats in 2 minutes, please.
Sincere faith is our great land. Love and joy our gentle breeze. Dharma is our wholesome reign. Diligence our warming sun. Helping seeds of kindness grow. We uproot our ignorance, walking firmly on the path. We spread love throughout the world. Wisdom and compassion flow, nourishing our bodies.
Test, hi. Okay, let's wrap up and be in your seats in the next minute or so, please. And we're going to start presenting our skits to each other. All right, welcome back. I hope you had fun making your skit. All right. Does any group want to go first? All right. All right. No, no. You don't want to go first? You want to go? Oh, no. Back table. Would you like to come up here or stay down there? Okay. It's on. Yes, this is on.
So just to let everyone know, so we're at the food distribution, and the scenario involves volunteers and recipients.
Hello, who do we have here?
Hi, so this is my grandma, and her back is hurt, so can you please help her? Yeah, and we don't have a card, and yeah, so is there anything that you can do to help us, please?
Of course, I'll help you get your food to your car.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry, my grandma is like moving so slow, and she's like slowing down the line. I'm so sorry about it.
It's totally fine. It's okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, I think I see someone who needs help. They look like they have a lot of stuff with them. Hello, how may I help you today?
Hello, my car is really far. My car is really far. Could you possibly help me carry my stuff down the block to my car?
Sure, I would be glad to help you. Let me take this. Follow the line.
Hi, I'm in a really rough spot right now. I just got laid off my job, and I need to feed my family of 5. And I'm also a single dad, so without income, I'm really struggling to feed my kids. I could really use some help.
Oh my God, you must be starving. Oh my God, you have so many kids. I mean, you know what? I'll do you one better. Give me a second.
Take your time.
Ooh, package of 5.
Wow, that's a lot of food.
That can give you a lot of days with food, okay? How's that?
Thank you so much. Me and my kids are indebted to you. We're so grateful.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you for sharing your skit. Was there any other group that wanted to go next? Okay. Come on. How many mics do you need? 2?
Battle station.
Okay, wow. Today is our food distribution for our homeless shelter and the homeless people. So, yeah, are you guys all ready? Yay! And we have our food and things ready. And Angelina, let's go check their in. Yeah, here we go. Hi, welcome to our Shiji. And then, so what's your name?
Hi, I'm Sam.
Hi, Sam. How's your day?
My day is terrible.
Oh, what happened?
I don't have a house and I'm really hungry. And I'm here with my 2 kids.
Oh my God, okay. How old are they?
I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. We'll find out. Yes. And who is this person coming with you?
Who are you?
I'm your sister.
Oh, this is.
Oh, your sister. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet your family. And let me write it down to your family information. Let's write it down. Okay. This is family 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay. They have kids and age unknown. I think they probably need a backpack, right? Okay. Yeah, we'll assist you. And so Sister Angeline will take you all to our food and things all you need. Oh, hi, little one. How are you 2 doing? Oh my God, that's coming. Come with us. Here we go. Did you guys go to school?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's go get a backpack. Oh, you guys are so cute.
Father, we require sustenance.
Yay.
Oh, you're so cute. Oh, isn't he?
Give me some hug, yes.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. And yeah, okay. So did everyone have enough of food, everything? Yeah, okay.
It would be nice to get more food. We require sustenance for the cold times.
I think he's just acting up.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your skit. So in the interest of time, if we can have any groups that knows their skit will be about 1 minute long. Does anyone want to volunteer themselves? Please, pretty please. We all want to share skits. We're a learning community. Oh, rock, paper, scissors. Okay. How many microphones do you need?
Is someone the narrator? So our scenario is Suching volunteers are doing a monthly visit to a nursing home to play music. Here we have our lovely attendees playing the roles of the volunteers and the seniors.
Oh, my back. My back.
Okay, nursing home residents, we will play a little song for you guys so we can perform and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Amanda, look, that resident over there, that senior, she looks kind of sad. Should we go say something to her?
Oh no, I think we should.
Okay, let's go.
Oh my God, who are you?
Hi, I'm Daphne.
Hi, Daphne.
And I'm Amanda Lynn.
Hi, Amanda.
What's your name?
My name's Jasmine.
It's nice to meet you, Jasmine.
It's nice to meet you too.
Is everything okay?
No. I turned 100 yesterday, and none of my friends came to celebrate because they're all passed away. We used to party together, but now I have no one.
What about your family?
They didn't. They forgot about my birthday.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, I know it's not the same, but we're here for you, and we're going to try to come back to visit sometime
It's nice
too.
to have young people come because you all are so beautiful.
If it makes you feel better, we can play you happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you guys.
Thank you for sharing your skit. Did the other rock, paper, scissors table want to show their skit now? Yeah, do you want to present? Okay.
Two or three. And now try to face forward.
Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to have a free dental outreach, part of CG mission of medicine. And we have some volunteers here. So go ahead.
Hello, welcome to our dental clinic today.
Chinese? Oh, I don't speak Chinese.
Oh, me neither.
I'll go find. I'll find.
I'll wait here with them. You go in. Okay, I'll wait here. Okay.
Linda, you speak
Okay,
Chinese,
it's okay.
right?
We'll get help.
Yes,
soon.
I can speak Chinese.
Oh, can you come with us? A patient only speaks Chinese.
Oh yeah, sure. 您好，请问有什么可以帮忙的？
他牙子痛。
哦，牙齿痛是吗？好的，我知道了。您不着急，我带您去找医生哈。
Okay.
Hi, sir. We are having a patient who's having severe tooth pain, but they can only speak Chinese, so I can translate.
Okay, that would be great. Oh, what happened to the patient?
啊，您这牙怎么了？ Oh, I think their teeth are just too painful.
Oh, they're
yeah.
just too painful? Oh my god, then what should I do? Oh, here, have her to stay over there, have her to stay over
来，
there.
您我们带您坐下。牙
Here,
齿
here,
痛
have
辛
a
苦
seat over
了。
there.
来，请坐。
Alright, let's see. I know it hurts a lot, but here, I got you. Man, you need to calm down a little bit.
没有关系，没有关系，我们在这里陪着您哈。感觉好一些了
Alright,
吗？
remember to brush your teeth after every meal, okay?
啊，他说您记得吃饭之后一定要刷牙。谢谢，谢谢。
All right, would another group like to come up and present? Okay, come on.
Hi, everyone. Our skit is going to be about food distribution in the soup kitchen. Here we have 2 volunteers ready and excited to give out soup to all of the recipients today.
Hi, thank you for coming.
Well, thank you.
Here you go.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for the food. Thank you for coming.
There you go.
How's your day?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Great, good. Thank you for coming.
And by the way, I think I saw a homeless person walking around. I think they might need help. Can you please check up on them?
Yeah, thank you. Will. Of course. Thank you for bringing this up to our kitchen. Hello. Would you like to come to our soup kitchen? We have food for you. Do you need help?
Help.
Are you hungry? Do you speak English? Do you? A little bit. Okay. Okay, one moment. We're going to find someone to help us translate. I think we need help with someone. Do you think you can assist me?
I definitely can assist you. Hi, what issues do you seem to have?
Help.
Oh, you seem to need help. Oh, actually, we are kind of short-staffed at the moment, so I think we would need to offer you to come to the Chiji office on Monday through Friday for professional help. We will have a professional civil officer to help you with all of your needs and services on Monday through Friday.
Yes, please come back. Of course. We're really glad you stopped by.
We're really glad you stopped by.
It's Monday now. Wait, I don't know. Actually, we didn't practice this far.
Good job.
All right, thank you for sharing your skit. Is there another? Okay, come on up. Brian, they're saying X. Should I stop? Or? Okay, actually, in the interest of time, we're going to wrap up. Sorry. So I hope you enjoyed your skits. Is this on? This is on. Tim, can I get the next slide, please? Next. I'm skipping the discussion. Next. Okay, so to conclude, I want you to remember that we in Tsuji, we express gratitude, respect, and love. And anyone is a part of our large family. And the thing I hope you take away is to let us empower not only ourselves, but also those that we serve. I want to thank you for your participation, and I hope you enjoyed the skits. Thank you for your first class.
Thank you so much, Danielle, for a really engaging first class. I, for one, really enjoyed watching everyone's skits and could definitely feel the spirit of Tsuji, of compassion and goodness in the way you approached all of the people in need. I think that, at least for me, the main reason I have stayed with Tsuji all throughout college and even beyond is just the attitude in which we treat the people around us, which is based on the pillars of gratitude, respect, and love, as Daniel mentioned earlier. And that also rings true for the way we treat our community within our TCCA organizations. And so to help us basically learn a little bit more about the way we engage our community within TCCA, I'd like to invite Erica Chang up to the stage. But before we give her a round of applause, I just want to say that due to time constraints, we are going to be moving directly onto the next class. But if for any reason you need to use the bathroom, get some water, take a little stretch, you can kind of do that right now, quietly, but we will be proceeding with the next class. So help me in inviting Erica to the stage.
Hello, hello. All right. Just gonna wait for some people to settle down first, but I want to welcome you all again to TC Conference. It's very nice to see all of you here as a part of this TC community. So let's go ahead and start the class. We just learned how to interact with communities we serve. So now I want to dive deeper into how to engage community. All right, next. Before we start though, just a little about me. So hello, my name is Erica, and I am from Plano, Texas, but I go to school at the University of Texas at Austin. Hook 'em horns. Woo! So I've been in TC my entire life, and a fun fact is that I have never finished a K-drama on my own. But feel free to give me recommendations. Find me after. I'm very friendly. Talk to me, please. And so some objectives of this class is the importance of building a community. And I want you to learn how to engage your own community, your own chapters. And one of the activities that we're going to be doing is discussing community building events and how to foster a stronger connection between Siqing, Sigusibos, and Alumni. So, here are some questions to think about. Right now, think back to your first impressions of the TC community. What made you want to come back? How are you able to initiate conversations and keep up friendships? This is also something to think about for a conference as well, because you're meeting so many new people. Are you going to engage with any of them after this? How are you staying in touch? Also, if you were an officer, please reflect on the team bond. So how did your connection affect work ethic? Why community? That's a big question. Does anyone want to say, why is community important? Anyone have any ideas? Yes. Great, that's perfect, because I want to tell you a little mini story time about a study that was done years back about Italian immigrants that actually moved to a small Pennsylvania town. And what's so special about it is that the residents were very close-knit, and because of that, they actually found out that they had less stress and heart disease than the average population. So this was attributed to the spirit of cooperation and feeling belonging in a community. So I'm not saying that joining TC will expand your life expectancy. Maybe it will, I don't know. But I am saying that having community is very important for happiness. And all organizations need a community. And we want to foster that community in our organization so that the members feel belonging and feel contentment. This is also great for member retention. So just always something to keep in mind. So these are the types of relationships that you will form and build. What do you think the first one is? Most important part of our community are members. Let's give a great shout out to the members, because one of the first people that you will meet are the members. And so we want to form a friendship and build connections outside of TC. Like I said earlier, if someone can't find a community in TC, they won't be inclined to attend our meetings and go to the social or service events. So you, every single one of you, really decide how to reach out, how to shape their welcome. So remember what I told you to think about earlier. How did you find community within TC, right? One of the first impressions that people have of an organization are the officers and the other members, how friendly they are and how they interact with you to make you feel like you belong. We help foster this community by showing a very warm welcome. So things we can do to help foster this as well is to just connect people to one another. Friend matchmaking. I remember speed dating yesterday. And sometimes you just like talk to people, find out if they have similar interests, and you can connect them. Also, definitely encourage them to attend your events, even DM them. Okay. Now, second type are officers. Working as a team together, right? Forming a good bond, making for smoother team communication. So here, let me give you two scenarios. Scenario one, people work together very well, and they have a great relationship outside of the organization work. So when they hang out, they're able to talk freely about ideas, and it just doesn't feel as much like work. However, in scenario two, we have two people who don't interact at all outside of officer meetings. And these are what, like bi-weekly, right? So communication is very lacking, and more effort is needed to understand what needs to be done. Which scenario is preferred? So this is all to say, if an officer feels apart from the team, their happiness will suffer, and their work may suffer as well. So definitely watch out for burnout. Check in on each other. If you notice anything wrong, please ask, and just be intentional at doing that. And we have our lovely alumni. How many of you know an alumni? Let's raise our hands. Great, okay. Majority of you do. So, right, we want to be that safe community that they can come back to continue that community feel, and showing that a connection is alive even after graduation. And hopefully, some of you come back after you graduate as well. I know there's a lot of alumni right now in the crowd as well. So, yeah, come back to TC, continue. And these alumni are also a connection to the larger world after college, give great mentorship and career advice. So please reach out to them as well. And a very special part of the TC community are sugu subuos. The literal translation for this is teacher auntie and teacher uncles. So sugu is teacher auntie, subo, teacher uncle. And they are our support system away from home, as many of you may have noticed. They're able to share valuable advice, and it's always very interesting to hear their stories about how they got involved in the TC community and what made them want to stay all these years, right? So build a good relationship with them, appreciate them. Let's be a family together. All right, so now we're going to move into the activity section. All of the relationships that I just mentioned hold an importance in creating a Tzu branch that's enjoyable for members and upholds Tzu values of community, right? So I want you to discuss community building events. You will have around 30 minutes, and I will let you know when time is up. But let's go through these instructions. So first, you will choose a target audience. This could be members, the officers, sugu subo, or alumni. So we're going to be giving you poster paper. Draw out 4 sections with the labels. And after you choose that target audience, please discuss an event that engages that audience. So specifically, targeting that audience. However, if it is an event that overlaps, such as GM, you're engaging like pretty much everyone, then color code, write that activity down in each section, but color code that. And then once you have activities down, describe why specifically that event would engage them. So the meaning behind the event and the takeaways you would want that audience to have. Let me show you an example of what I'm talking about when I say color code. So you see how event 1 is in yellow, in member and alumni. And then you have a different color for event 2 as well as event 3. So this is kind of what your poster will look like. And then this is just an example that someone did before. All All right. Does anyone have any questions at this time? All right. If not, then we can go ahead. You discuss in your small groups. We'll reconvene. I'll let you know when time is almost up. And you get to do some group sharing about the events that you've come up with.
children, a meadow lush with life. May love's great compassion comfort all the weary souls. May love's great compassion make the world a brighter place. May this great compassion make us dream of pure great love, flowing round the planet, changing hearts forevermore. Let's leave for our children a planet clean and pure. Let's leave for our children a river crystal clear. Let's leave for our children a blue sky shining bright. Let's leave for our children a meadow lush with life. May love's great compassion comfort all the weary souls. May love's great compassion make the world a brighter place. May this great compassion make us dream of pure great love, flowing round the planet, changing hearts forevermore. Let's leave for our children a planet clean and pure.
More than willing to give all my 2 days. A great future is more difficult than they say. The beauty on outside only shines when love's within you. Together we pray for brighter days ahead. Blue sky always appears after the storm. The circle of love embraces right and wrong. I have no worries, all my ups and downs have vanished. I don't have much, I hope I can give you my all. Spread love under the sky, hand in hand we are one. Despite the danger, face the wind and step forward. Spread love over the sea, bowing under the sun. No matter how far we must travel, our dream stays the same. Spread love under the sky, hand in hand we are one. Despite the danger, face the wind and step forward. Spread love over the sea, bowing under the sun. No matter how far we must travel, our dream stays the same. endures after the storm. The circle of love embraces right and wrong. I have no worries, all my ups and downs have vanished. I don't have much, I hope I can give you my all. Spread love under the sky, hand in hand we are one. Despite the danger, face the wind and step forward. Spread love over the sea, bowing under the sun. No matter how far we must travel, our dreams stay
profound wisdom and fulfill the value of life. Through the practice of wisdom, carry on the mission of Buddha. Through the practice of kindness, carry on the mission of Under the sun on this great land, we bring Dharma to the whole world through love and compassion. We share the light of our hearts. Respect life, practice kindness with great joy and selfless giving. Nurture profound wisdom and fulfill the value of life. Through the practice of wisdom, carry on the mission of Buddha. Through the practice of kindness, carry on the mission of great Well, we each come from a different place.
Hello. 5-minute warning, guys. Start wrapping things up, and we're going to be doing large group sharing in a moment.
For there is a common dream we chase. With you by my side, giving me a smile to brighten up my days. With you by my side, when I'm sad, you give me such a warm embrace.
Okay, one more candle. Again, one more candle. Great, let's stop now and focus our attentions back to the screen, please. Wow. Thank you for all your hard work. I saw the posters and they look amazing. Well, which groups did not get to go on stage and perform the skit? Please raise your hands. That group? Only that group? And that group. All right, so you guys will go first. So, round of applause. Yes, would this group like to go first? You can share about an event that you were really passionate about. Delve deep. Go ahead. Just hold it up and kind of talk about what you guys discussed.
All right, so the first one that we have for members is Boba Social. We have that under members and officers just to meet new people and connect with them like outside the club.
Have you guys finished the members part? We have a lot of stuff here. I'll move on to alumni. So we think about the reunion and the visit day to connect everybody who already graduated back to Tzu Chi. And we can do something similar like Kaboba as well. And we talk about social meeting. So these 4 parts, like we have some activities that we can use for different parts, and they are all connected with each other. General meeting and family dinner, we put family dinner into all of these 4 parts. And mentoring, basically the alumni can bridge with the current members and share their experiences, just like this. To bridge between the Shigu Shibo, Siqing, and even Sishao. I'll pass my mic to Shannon to talk about the officers' activities.
Okay, so for officers, we can also include them in the Boba Social and have a reunion for them, like including the alumni. Then obviously general members, they had to be there. Veg fair, they also had to be there. And then family dinner, it includes like everyone, so of course officers are also in there, also to connect with everyone. And then there's also a post-service social, which includes everyone who volunteers and does stuff. And then have like one giant trip to like Hualien or Taiwan to get closer to everyone.
All right, the last section is for Shigu Shibo. And once again, there's general meeting, Shigu Shibo. They always bring good food and that, so they're always there. There's also flower arrangement class. I guess that's where you make flowers. And then there's also tea class and social where TCCA has their own tea, so they can bring that, and there's a social there. And they're also part of the family dinners.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And we can go on. Hans group.
For something we talked about for everyone was like a hot pot social, because it was something that all of our chapters did, because it's like good food, and then hot pot socials usually last pretty long. And And then for members, we generally just like listed a bunch of socials such as boba runs or flower arrangements, and also like Friendsgiving during Thanksgiving, and then like paper cutting events, and also volunteer events are also a great way to socialize between members, and then also promoting vegetarianism and beach cleaning, street cleaning, or campus cleaning.
For alumni, we have TC events with chapter, graduation ceremony, and general meetings, which are good reasons for alumni to come back to the school or to come back and visit their chapter and socialize with everyone and catch up with everyone. We also have the hot pot social and beach cleaning, which is pretty much general for all members and alumni and officers. We also have Frisbee Cup tournaments, and alumni can also act as guest speakers at events.
For the 四姑师伯, they have the Tai Chi exercise and tea or meditation ceremonies, and then they also have the hot pot social and beach cleaning, like the rest of the sections, and they also have the sutra practice.
Okay, for officers, we have the officer retreat, general meetings, tabling, and small groups for socializing between chairs. We also have mentorships and preparing event materials, and just like the other groups, we also included hot pot socials and beach cleaning.
All right, let's get another group to share as well. Yes, go ahead. If you're very passionate about an event or a specific category that you want to talk about, please go ahead.
Okay, so I guess we'll start off with our events for members. So our first idea, which also includes alumni, is an alumni panel or mixer. So this is a chance for members to kind of get connected with alumni who are already like working outside in the real world, so they can give like career advice or major advice. Second is general meeting, which is like pretty standard, like learning about volunteering opportunities, creating a positive atmosphere for everyone to kind of get to know each other. Third is like a food demonstration. So this is something my chapter had that I wasn't really a part of, but basically our lovely Angela Sugu would like teach like the members how to cook like some good vegetarian recipes, which was a really good idea for to promote like vegetarianism and also just connect the members all together. Number 4 is like a graduation or like also potluck. So it's always a good idea to connect over food because no one would say no to free food. 5th is like care packages. Making care packages for like officers or sugu subo, which is a good way to kind of like share our appreciation for each other and the people involved in our community. Oh my God, we have a lot. Number 6 is not here, but number 7 is like connecting with teachers in other schools to kind of meet students who need like volunteer hours, I think was our idea. And our last one is Sugu or Subo story time, which is kind of for our members to get to know about, their life experience and their involvement in TC.
We have officers. We have a general meeting. It's used for connecting with like members and get to know them more. And the 4th one we have is graduation potluck. So it like helps like stay connected with all members, officers before the end of the school year. The next one is care packages, officer member appreciation gifts. It is used for like showing like appreciation and love shared by Sugu Subos. And the last one is the retreat, which is like bonding with like officers, professional development, planning, finalizing the plan for the upcoming semester.
So for alumni, we have the opportunity to share experiences from their school and other members and officers for their sushi experiences. For number 4, since alumni already graduated, we have a potluck to stay connected and hopefully share your experiences through group text or chat. And as a 6, we have homecoming in order for them to get together over a long period of time and to once again share their experiences on how to become a successful Xuxing member. Yes.
And our last one is the Sigusiboas. So number 3 is same thing shared with the members, the food demonstration. And the Sigusiboas are able to teach members how to cook and get to know them better and like pass on, like Jasmine said, vegetarian recipes for them to use. And then graduation potluck is for them to stay connected and see how much the members have accomplished in the time that they've been away, or just kind of see how that the members have grown. Number 5 is care packages that the Sigusiboas will make, and it supports and uplifts the base of the community of volunteers. And number 9 is Sigusiboa story time to the members, or officers and alumni as well, I guess. But they're able to share experiences and wisdom with the younger members.
All right, thank you so much. You guys had so many great ideas. I hope all of you also were able to listen, not just listen, but actually take away some ideas for next semester, next year. And with that, we're going to stop with the group sharing for now and go on. Do I hear sighs of relief? It's okay. At least you had time in your small groups to discuss. If we could go to the next slide, please. And the next. Next. Okay, so this is what we just did. And up here, I just have a very long list of some events that could have fit into each category. So feel free to just take a look right now and compare to what you have on your poster. Because now that we've talked about these different events and why they're important for community building, I kind of want to recap how we can further develop some of these relationships. So making ourselves a club that actually develops relationships. This is just to wrap up everything you guys just discussed in your small groups, so you're not like left hanging, no idea what just happened. But some of the most important events we have are GMs and socials, right? So GMs, they're a great place for people to meet one another and to develop these relations, because we're able to reach out to members, learn why they're there, and what they want in an organization or a community. And we're able to incorporate TC values into the GMs as well, so they learn who we are, what we do, and why it's so important. Then there's also the good food. GM activities also help to create that opportunity to socialize while we are discussing TC topics. So you can bond with people over values as well. And during socials, this is giving people a great opportunity to see one another, an excuse to see one another in a sense. And this can be very casual, or it can be something planned like officer socials, maybe like after GM socials, so that they feel it's not just an organization, but you're able to build friendships and hang out outside of what is considered org time. So how we get people to come is really just inviting them personally and engaging them during the socials. I encourage every one of you to talk to someone new. And let's talk briefly about the family system and one-on-ones. If you do have a family system, this is where we connect with the Sigusiboas, and they invite us over to their house for dinner. So this is a much closer environment, and you get a chance to talk to people that you may not normally in your organization. As for one-on-ones, you're able to learn more in-depth about each other. You can do officer one-on-ones, you can do member one-on-ones, but it's just another great opportunity to form friendships. And with that, let's go to the conclusion. Key takeaways. Key takeaways. Hopefully that activity did help you reflect on events that best serve different types of relationships. And so really what this class is about is showing how important community is and that we can foster better relationships across members, officers, alumni, and Sigu Sibo through these targeted events and thinking about our interactions with each. And so through a strong community, we're able to grow together and cultivate this lasting culture of belonging in TC. So I hope you guys have found a community. I hope you continue to stay in this community. And thank you so much for listening to this lecture.
All right, let's go ahead and give Erica another round of applause for a great class. Again, just to recap, as you guys have worked on with your groups, there's so many different events that we as TCCA members can put on that and each event can sort of bleed and diffuse and impact many different communities that we have within our organization. And so, at least for me, I think that a successful TCCA community provides that space for everyone to grow their connections with other people, right? And as leaders, I believe it is our responsibility to create those opportunities for our members, officers, alumni, and Sigu Sibo to form those relationships and create a stronger bond overall. And so I hope you guys took a lot out of that class. And now I'm going to invite our lead attendee, Irol, to come up here and make a few announcements.
Hello, hello. Cool. All right, those were our first two classes. We will be having a little tea break, and we will be back here in the graduate hall at 11:05. So make sure, how we're going to do this is we're going to be dismissing by group. So when I say so, you'll stand up and make sure your belongings and everything is nice and neat. Make sure the chairs are facing forward if you did do a little shuffle during the activities. And at the end of tea break, you will, anytime before the end of tea break to the end, okay, anyway, you'll be dismissing yourself, so just be back here in the gratitude hall by 11:05. And group leaders, you may directly head to the courtyard. You don't need to wait outside in the lobby. So yeah, if you could please stand up and face the center.
It's a small change, but coming from the heart, every little bit becomes a lot. Helping and giving for nothing in return. I want to do my part and take my turn. For every kindness we show, love will come back tenfold. That's when I started to know. That's where my heart began to grow. It's just a tiny flame, but 1,000 light up the darkest night. I'm adding one more candle to the light. I know it's a small change, but coming from the heart, every little bit becomes a lot. know it's a small change, but coming from the heart, every little bit becomes a lot. Helping and giving for nothing in return. I want to do my part and take my turn. For every kindness we show, love will come back tenfold. That's when I started to know. That's where my heart began to grow. It's just a tiny flame, but 1,000 light up the darkest night. I'm adding one more candle to the light. I know it's a small change, but coming from the heart, every little bit becomes a lot. Helping and giving for nothing in return. I want to do my part and take my turn. For every kindness we show, love will come back tenfold. That's when I started to know. That's where my heart began to grow. It's just a tiny flame, but 1,000 light up the darkest night. I'm adding one more candle to the light.
As you're coming into the room, please take a seat. We will soon be starting the next class.
Love will come back tenfold. That's when I started to know. That's where my heart began to grow. It's just a tiny flame, but 1,000 light up the darkest night. I'm adding one more candle to the light.
All right, is everybody back yet? Are we ready to go? Okay, so welcome back, y'all. How was tea break? Very good. Okay, are any of you tired yet? Oh no, we still have a long day ahead of you for you guys. Yeah, so in the morning you heard about from our two wonderful curriculum members about community and what it means to be part of the Tsuji community. And so one thing that we would like for you also to think about is that beyond our local chapter and all of this wonderful service events that we do, we are also part of a larger national and also international community as well. And so for this upcoming special class from our wonderful Jack Fan Xuezang, we will be talking a little bit some of the national endeavors that are going on here in the United States from Tsuji.
All right, good morning, everyone. Come on, that was weak. You guys just had a break. Good morning, everyone. All right, such a pleasure to be here, and I'm so glad all of you are still here. So, just a quick introduction for myself. Little technical difficulty here. All right, so my name is Jack. I am currently the teaching advisor for UT Austin. Welcome. Also the teaching lead for the Southern region as well as the national TCCA. Now, much like all of you, I started out as a teaching as well. That was me back in 2014 or 13 in Houston when I was a teaching at UCSD. And now, throughout the years, I go through the natural progression. If I'm teaching and then went into training, I actually also work for the Tzu Chi Medical Foundation for about 2 years as I figure out my path before going to dental school. And so over time, as my hair gets fewer and whiter, my shirt gets darker and maybe a little more layers. But before we go into today's session, I would like to invite all of you to first take out your phones, if you have those. I keep pressing, okay. And just scan this, because we do have an interactive portion for Q&A. If you have any questions from our speaker, anything particular you'd like to ask, you can go ahead and submit that on the Slido. Now, while we do that, I kind of want to share with you kind of my thoughts. Throughout my teaching journey, it's always been with this kind of the same group of people in the blue shirts and navy blue shirts with white pants. Even though that Tzu Chi has been always promoting about working with other people, working in communities, it just feels sometimes very lonesome that why isn't there other organizations that are working with Tzu Chi? Well, fortunately, everyone got the QR code? Today, we have the honor of having one of our esteemed 学长, Steve Chu, who is the Tzu Chi representative to the UN, and he's been working in alignment with disaster relief, climate action, education for global citizenship, sustainable development, and gender equality with Tzu Chi as well as with other organizations across the world. And now he's trying to seek to connect grassroots actions to policies in the international level. So let's give a drum roll. All right, let's welcome Steve Chu, 学长.
Thanks so much, Jack. Hi, everyone. Do I have a clicker? Perfect. Thanks so much. Hello. Okay, so I'm just gonna go next. Oh, that's Q&A. I might have to ask to switch to my slides. That might be in a different space. So I heard some of you are tired. That's totally okay. I'm tired too. I've been up since 4 a.m. It's a whole thing. Like my brain is soup right now. But I have a fantastic slide deck that I'm gonna just run through with you guys. We have some creative exercises in the middle to kind of like energize your brain up before we go towards lunchtime, and it's gonna be a really, really good time. So while the slides are coming up, I'd love to just first maybe introduce myself. I'm Steve Chu. I serve as our rep at the UN. And then in terms of what we're really looking to do is ensure that everything that's happening within the Tzu Chi space at a local level is being seen, heard, shown at an international level, right? So recognizing that a lot of these actions that we take here in our own community have resonant themes to this international space, we want to be sure that we have that spotlight and that we have that presence. So today I'm going to be talking about how we build a brighter future together. Recognizing that like our world is kind of crazy, it's a little bit chaotic, and we're kind of in like a little bit of a crisis mode, with the international community. And so what can Tzu Chi do to bring a sense of tranquility, peace, innovation into this space? And what are we already doing, right? So first and foremost, oh, that text is funky. Do you see that gray text? That's supposed to be like red or blue or something else. I'm sorry. So we're just gonna have to roll with it. So happy International Youth Day. I think it's such a wonderful occasion that we're gathered here on International Youth Day, because International Youth Day is about celebrating the impact and power that young people have in our community, right? So that gray bubble of text there says that over half the world's population is under 30 years old, right? So if we're thinking about what we as an organization need to do strategically to ensure that we continue to have impact within our global societies, it's about young people. It's about lifting up young people's voices. And I know later we're going to have an opportunity to hear from our CEO about her strategy related to youth engagement. This is the place to be in terms of thinking, strategizing, and understanding how we as young people can create impact at Tzu Chi. And so the words of the Secretary General on today's occasion state that on this important day, let's join hands across generations, right, to break down barriers and work as one to achieve a more equitable, just, inclusive world for all people, right? And I think this is both the mission of the United Nations and it's also the mission of what Tsuji seeks to do, right? It's to work across divisions. It's to work in an intergenerational way to ensure that we are able to build a better future together. So this is kind of the rundown of the talk. Here's what's going on. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself because I'm a self-absorbed narcissist and I must have you know everything about me, right? It's all about Steve. Then from there, we're going to jump into a little creative imagining exercise, recognizing that within your group, we want to ensure that you guys get to know each other better, hear and think about what you aspire for the future, right? And then we're going to go and really unpack what it means to create a better future, right? How does the world do this? And then in turn, how does Tsuji do this as well, right? And then finally, we're going to share a little bit about the department that I run called GPAD, how you can engage with it and what opportunities exist. And then we're going to jump into this nice little Q&A with Jack Shridzong. So at any point during this conversation, if you have questions, the Slido is the space to go. Drop any questions, comments, thoughts, whatever you have, right? So this is a little bit about me, who I am, why I do the work I do, and how I have journeyed through Tsuji. So I was introduced to Buddhist Tsuji Foundation in 1999. And so that puts me at 7 years old then, and I'm now 29, turning 30 this year. So it's been this like 23-year-long journey of me walking in this like Tsuji space, right? And it really started from this giant earthquake that had hit Taiwan in September 21st. And like our family is Taiwanese immigrants. We lived in Columbus, Ohio. We were super devastated and wanted to see who was responding because we were really concerned about our families back home. Who could we send support to, resources? And we found one of the first organizations on scene doing this tremendous work, not only providing material support, but supporting everyone coming out of that disaster with emotional and spiritual care was Tsuji Foundation, right? So we're like, oh, yo, cool. So let's take some shoeboxes, stand in front of a Chinese grocery store and ask people for money, right? And we saw this like beautiful outpouring of love from our community, from the Taiwanese American community, the Chinese American community, the regular like Ohio community, everyone coming together to say, we don't know the people we're trying to help, but we recognize that something that I do right now will have this ripple impact on the global world, right? And so we were really inspired by that idea and we're like, what if we created a chapter of Tsuji here in Columbus, Ohio ourselves, right? So we spent for the next couple years building out this service center in Columbus, and we've been doing volunteering there ever since, working with the community to channel that love that we saw on that day in front of the Chinese grocery store and turn it into this deep, meaningful impact that can last beyond just like me, you, and it really encompasses the community, right? So my key job was bait. I was the cute kid on the side of the street to sell lemonade, and then people would come in, and then we'd be able to talk more and learn about all these cool volunteering opportunities, right? And then I used bait too, because I used a cute little baby who was even cuter than me at 7 years old, you know, so I was already scheming then. So from there, we then went on to college. I started doing volunteering in high school, college. During college, I realized, oh my God, Tsuji doesn't just do things at a local level, but we have programs and activities that allow us to connect to this international Tsuji community, right? There's International Tsuching Camp. There's these opportunities that Tsuchings can come to New York to engage with different UN conferences. And I was really lucky in 2011 to be able to join one of these conferences to participate, represent Tsuji, and learn about the wider world, right? And as I was learning about this stuff, I realized that the work that I was doing at this local level was so deeply aligned to what the international community was trying to achieve, right? And Tsuji was so special because not only were we working on all these different ways of trying to help society, but we were doing it in a holistic way that empowers people, right? It's not just about like, oh, you need $2, I give you $2, right? It's the fisherman meme, right? Like you're like, you give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, or you like teach him how to fish and like he can like live forever and like eat a bunch of fish, right? We're not about eating fish here, but like I'm here for the idea of empowerment, right? So similarly, I think within seeing this work, we realized and recognized that what Tsuji does, the way we work, this model is really special, right? So from that recognition, I really began to ask that question of like, what's the meaning of life? And maybe that's a longer question that I don't have time to share, so I'm just gonna jump over that, you know? Like, it's your journey, you'll figure it out too. So from there, we went on to recognize that as a life direction, I really wanted to help support Tsuji in this international space. So I joined our Tsuji's advocacy teams and really worked to promote Tsuji's values, best practices, and actions at this international stage alongside with the this team that Deborah Sugu had built up from 2014. So I've kind of been working for Tsuji ever since. It's been 8 years, a fantastic journey, and would love to tell you more about it. But so these are where the text is the right color, okay? So these are like kind of the key areas that we work across, and you'll see they kind of cut into all these different areas of Tsuji, from the 4 missions and 8 footprints. I'm already running over time. Okay, so this is our Global Partnership Affairs Division. It's comprised of both volunteers and staff that work at an international level to ensure that no matter where we go, people can understand what Tsuji's work is happening both at a local and global level, and ensure that we work together in the spirit of partnership, collaboration, and mutual respect to create a better future for all, right? So with that, I'd love to hear from you guys what your vision for a better future is, right? I think it's such a wonderful like phrase, but when you get down to the nitty-gritty, what does it mean, right? So I'd love to now draw your attention to everything that is on your table. You should see that you have materials there ready for you to create your better future. So together, please, for the next 10 minutes, be timing. Imagine the world you wish to live in. What kind of world do you want to leave behind for future generations, right? We see there's a lot of conflict right now. We see there's the climate crisis. We see there's biodiversity loss. It's very easy to like pivot ourselves into this like doomsday mindset, right? But we also recognize that we have the actions that we can take to build a better future, right? So I'd love for you all to take some time and visualize this future. So if you're asking yourself, Steve, I don't know how to draw. I'm not a creative person. Here's what's up, right? Like you can write, you can scheme, you can plot, you can make graphs, you can draw. Anyone can draw, you know? You don't have to draw good. You can doodle. Like it's 10 minutes. Don't make a masterpiece, but try to use this time to communicate what's invisible and immaterial in your head onto physical space so that you're able to then share with the rest of your group. So we're going to do 10 minutes of drawing, 5 minutes of sharing, okay? So now I'm going to close out with this part. These are the 6 questions I want you guys to consider. So go ahead and get started. As you start, I'm just going to read these things out verbatim, okay? A, what about our beautiful planet do you wish to preserve and pass on? Okay, we live in a great world. It's a society. What do we love about the world? I love parks. I also love looking at the stars. I want the stars to exist when I'm gone, right? Second question, what is missing in our societies that we want to change? Right? What do we want to see emerge from this space? Is it we want to discover aliens? We want a vaccine that cures HIV? We want like something to do with like being able to fly? I want to see flying cars, right? Whatever that is, what is missing? Draw that, visualize it. Question 3, what values do you want our societies to uphold, right? Right now, we are seeing within our collective society this large drive towards late-stage capitalist ideals where money is prioritized over people. Right? Is that the world we want to continue to have, or are there other values that we want to enshrine? Right? How do you draw a value? How do you visualize compassionate people? I don't know. I leave that up to you guys. You guys are the magicians. Then, what do we need in order to live flourishing lives? I need water, right? I need food too. Or can you draw water food? Maybe. Maybe that's what you need. Maybe you need something else, right? Maybe you need a little like car to like drive around. California doesn't have walking roads. Then, number 5, what kind of transportation will we be using? And finally, what happened to climate change, right? Those are just some prompting questions. You don't have to answer them all, but I'm starting the timer, 10 minutes on the clock. Let's draw the future we want to see. I'll be back. Thanks.
every song there's a theme that we sing. With each new moment comes a new melody. I can choose to let the sun shine brilliantly, or to let the cold rain pour down heavily. With every song we'll have highs and have lows. With open hearts every challenge will help us to grow. My heart creates the music I'll call my own. While we are young, let's choose the words for our song. I choose to walk through the crowd. I know that love's right here and right now. So let us open up our hearts to those in need. That is what makes a touching, warm melody. I choose to share all my love. I give my all right here and right now. Reach out and give a helping hand to those in need. With a smile we can bring this world harmony. Slowly, surely, we give our life beauty.
With every song we'll have highs and have lows. With open hearts every challenge will help us to grow. My heart creates the music I'll call my own. While we are young, let's choose the words for our song. I choose to walk through the crowd. I know that love's right here and right now. So let us open up our hearts to those in need. That is what makes a touching, warm melody. I choose to share all my love. I give my all right here and right now. Reach out and give a helping hand to those in need. So start with me, mindful where to walk without feet. Slowly, surely, we give our life beauty. I choose to share all my love.
I give my all right here and right now.
Reach out and give a helping hand to those in need.
Inspire good in every person that you meet. Slowly, surely, we give our life beauty. La 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 la. I choose to have a meaningful life. A life.
We have about 2 more minutes left, so whatever you're drawing, please begin to wrap it up. And then for people online, I've been drawing trains and people holding hands with little hearts in between. So as you can tell, I'm not that creatively inclined either, but we're here for it.
I know it's a small change, but coming from the heart, every little bit becomes a lot. Helping and giving for nothing in return. I want to do my part and take my turn. For every kindness we show, love will come back tenfold. That's when I started to know. That's where my heart began to grow. It's just a tiny flame, but the thousand light up the darkest night. I'm adding one more candle to the light. I know it's a small change, but coming from the heart, every little bit becomes a lot. giving for nothing in return. I want to do my part and take my turn. For every kindness we show.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the drawing portion of this class, and I hope you have been enjoying this little creative exercise that's gotten your juices flowing. Just as a show of hands, I'd love to see how many worked on your vision of future by yourself. That was me. Okay, there we go. Okay, and how many people worked together to create their vision? Wonderful. Okay, so my little lesson from just that question alone, I drew like some people holding hands. They got little hearts because I'm like, oh, it'd be really nice to be harmonious, right? And I got some happy clouds because by my future, no more bad climate change, right? And then we got a little bit of trains, but I ran out of ideas because I'm just one person, right? And so what we find within the work that we do at GPAD is as much as there is the gifts and goodness that we bring as Tzu, we can create so much more together when we begin to work together, right? So now, another show of hands, how many people had enough papers on their desk to work, each have their own piece of paper? Okay, so if you look around, there's actually two groups that are deeply lacking. I gave this group 2 pieces of paper, and I gave this group 1 giant piece of paper, right? Which is the group that has that giant stack of computer paper? I left it at, yeah, okay, so there we go. How many people had crayons? How many people had markers? Okay, so you may find after this class, I'd love for you guys to just share your drawings with each other, but you may find that the visions that you're imagining are radically different simply because of what you have material-wise to create with, right? But the moral of this little exercise is also we have enough to create the world we want to see together. However, it may be distributed inequitably, right? And so as we think about what this means, I'd love for the next 5 minutes for you guys to reflect with each other, share the vision of your future with each other, the ones that you made, right? What was it like to create with those materials? Would it be cooler if you had crayons or markers? The inherent imbalance of supplies, I guess I already shared, so skip that one. And then during this activity, were there any moments where people reached out to share supplies? It wasn't part of the exercise, but would love to hear your guys' thoughts. 5 minutes on the clock, and we'll run it back in a bit. Thanks, guys.
my world was changed. Some people looked on while my eyes were glazed. Then a new friend came and showed me how I could put my feet back on the ground. A little love, a little kindness can save me. You inspired me to keep going on. Life is harsh and you took me to safety. Now it's my turn to pass it on. So I stand up, I will give back a helping hand. I will open my heart again. I remember the worst I was in was not the end. Never gave up.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead, wrap up conversation. Okay, cool. So I hope you guys got to like chat a little bit about your futures, see what everyone's thinking. There's a little bit of magic in that, like maybe someone from your group is able to think about one specific sector of the future, and someone else is thinking about something else, and it's like, oh yeah, it's resonant. You know. In terms of this exercise, I hope this helps you also understand that inequity is intrinsic amongst our collective societies, right? And it's both a space for resentment, where those with less may feel this sense of like, why do others get more than us, right? But then at the same time, it's a deep opportunity where all it requires from us is to share in a way that allows for people who have less to equalize, right? And gain access to the very things that we're enjoying in overabundance, right? The curriculum team did a wonderful job where I gave them 2 pieces of paper and their solution was they used their own notebooks, right? And so they kind of like skipped over this challenge of like only having 2 pieces of paper. And so they adapted, right? They were able to still have a good time, achieve the objective, but wouldn't it have been nicer if they were able to get the resources to begin with, right? So to solve the world's problems, really, we already have all of the things we need right here on our planet, right? The only challenge we have is we need to have a shared blueprint of action, right? How do you get consensus amongst all like 200 some odd countries and territories in the world to agree to do something together, right? It's nigh impossible, right? And like, how do you ensure that within our differences, we find commonality? And so the United Nations actually embarked on this exercise in 2015, where they were able to help us create a blueprint for our future, right? Which is, they asked one simple question to millions of people around the world through this thing called the My World Survey. And this question is simply, what kind of world do we want in the future, right? And through that people came through writing essays on essays, speaking about how they don't want poverty to exist anymore. They want to make sure that everyone has access to good health. They want to solve our climate problems. We want to make sure we have peace on earth, right? All of these fantastic ideas, and the UN took this and they synthesized it into targets and indicators that allows for us to measure the progress that our globe is on, like what track we're on in order to achieve this better future together. And so as we were recognizing this coming out from 2015, our team quickly caught on, oh my goodness, this blueprint shares very similar DNA to Tzu Chi's 4 missions and 8 footprints. You'll see in like, within like good health, we're deeply aligned with the medical mission. Then from the education side, we have our education mission, right? We began to really see that Tzu Chi's actions were deeply holistic and all-encompassing of all 17 of these sustainable development goals. And this really gave us this burst of excitement, right? Because whereas maybe some organizations are like hyper focusing on one specific thing and only that one thing, where it's like, if you're interested in like sustainable consumption and production, you have a place in this organization, right? If you have expertise, we'd love for you. If you don't, maybe this isn't the place for you, right? Whereas with Tzu Chi, what we found is like, oh my goodness, if you're interested at all in creating a better world, there's a place and space for you within Tzu Chi's 4 missions and 8 footprints, right? There's a volunteer activity that you can design, create. There are staff working around the world world to make these things happen on a country level, and there's a place for you. That is to say that you belong in Tzu Chi, right? And that was like fantastic to like find out. And so from there, with number 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals, it's GPAD. It's our Global Partnerships Affairs Department, where we come together at an international level to build and facilitate these partnerships both at an international level and a local level. So in 2016, we did this really cute survey where we asked 44 countries, like amongst the Sustainable Development Goals, what are you working on? And you can kind of see like, it like cuts across, you know, like some countries do more work in some areas, others in some others, but in the end, we were touching every single Sustainable Development Goal through this survey. So now I'm going to quickly blitz through this. These are all slides that you'll gain access to in the future. So if I skip through something because of time, I apologize. So in terms of why and how Tzu Chi engages, I'd love to reflect how we're building this future, right? Recognizing that this future is one where we work from the ground up, right? Tzu Chi is first and foremost a grassroots organization that is doing this work at a local level. We work through our 4 missions and 8 footprints to ensure that we not only respond to the immediate needs of the community, but that we are empowering that very community to have a cycle of service to more people, right? We're creating these virtuous cycles of compassion and care to ensure that after our immediate intervention ends, that there's more happening down the line, right? From there, then our team goes to international platforms like the United Nations, where we advocate, we engage, and we share best practices to ensure that we are part of this conversation that involves our shared understanding of what is possible for the future. From there, we can then work together with governments, UN agencies, civil society organizations, and grassroots communities to build this shared future together, where we're not coming in with a prescriptive solution saying, we know what's best for you, right? But we're listening to the community, asking the question, what do you need? And then we, together with that community, design the future. Right? And ultimately, this is really to create these cycles of empowerment and inspiration through these structures that Tzu Chi calls them different things, right? But we can also label them as mutual aid networks, right? Where we are able to, through these cycles of self-sufficiency, create the better future together. And so that's what we're doing at a local level at Tzu Ching's, right? We're working amongst our college chapters in the system of mutual aid and support to build both our own resilience, where it's like, oh, are you having a bad test this week? Let me bring you a lunchbox, you know? And it's like, oh, are you struggling right now? Like, I'm here for you, right? Like that sort of mutual aid care connection then allows us to go out into the community because we are healed and whole and can say, we want to help the community design solutions for their problems, whether it's tackling poverty, hunger, homelessness, what have you, right? From there, there's also the question of like, why does Tzu Chi want to engage with the international community, right? We do good work. Across the 4 missions and 8 footprints, we're already doing all this work, right? Like, why talk to other people? Can we just be our own little like conclave of people like, oh, we're the cool club, join the cool club, right? But then as we began doing this work, we realized and recognized that as great as Tzu Chi's solutions and insights are, there's something powerful that happens when we come together and collaborate, right? We don't have all the resources in the world. We don't have all the answers in the world, but we do have what we have, right? And as long as we're sharing that with others, we're able to create deeper impact. And so just as a quick story of how Tzu Chi got engaged with the UN, in 2003, we were doing disaster relief. And through this disaster relief work, we wanted to request support from the United Nations. We're like, oh, you know, like we're doing this distribution. It's going to be great. We'd love for you to come by and help us protect our volunteers as they're doing this distribution because we're doing it in a relatively unsafe area. And the UN took one look at us and they're like, who are you? Like, we don't know who you are. Like, you're such a small group. Like, come through, right? Share more about who you are with us, get accredited with the United Nations, and then from that point on, we will begin to be able to work with you, provide you resources, share information. And so Tzu Chi was like, yo, bet. That's a really good opportunity. You know why? Because whenever there's disasters and we need like a hella drop of like our volunteers going into a place that has no access by roads, who can we talk to? We can now talk to the UN, right? So in 2010, when the Haiti earthquake happened and we began mobilizing our volunteers into Haiti to help build these resilient structures and communities, we were working hand in hand with the UN to ensure that not only were our communities protected when going in to work with these local communities, in a moment of chaos and crisis, right? But that also the UN was able to share with us, oh, look, like across the entirety of Haiti, these are all the communities that are already being helped, right? But there's these pockets, these people that we know no one is working with yet, and they're at risk of being left behind. Can Tzu Chi go in there and help, right? So as a stakeholder engaging with the international community, we're able to create deeper impact for the whole of a country rather than just duplicating efforts and repeating the same things that everyone else is doing, right? And so to date, now in 2022, Tzu Chi is seen as one of the key humanitarian aid groups, especially one that implements Buddhist principles and philosophies on the ground to inspire both our volunteers and the communities that we're helping to build resilience. From there now, I'll quickly run through how you can engage with our team. The work we do is super exciting, and between all of the opportunities throughout the year as college students, there are moments where you can come in to our space and help us do the good work that we're doing, right? We host internships every year through both our New York and California offices. So if you're interested in engaging in the practical work of like meeting with other international representatives, working, developing events, all of that, there's a space for you, right? We have an entire training program that we've been piloting this year. We're about to complete it at the end of September, called the International Youth Leadership Program. And through this, we've been able to find, scout, and recruit 10 of the most interesting, I would say most interesting, but I'm a little biased, Tzu Chings from around the world to train them on international issues and then be able to mobilize them both on the ground to coordinate during disasters and then also globally at these international conferences where they can really come and represent Tzu Chi, right? So year 2 cycle, as that application cycle comes through, I'm sure you'll hear more about that from your advisors. Would really encourage you guys to apply. Third, the GPAD team engages with UN conferences year round, whether it's on issues across all 17 Sustainable Development Goals. If there's an SDG that you're interested in and you want to connect with other people, coming to one of these conferences representing Tzu Chi is one of the fastest ways to access that information, right? And we'd love to have you guys at some of these conferences. If you want more information, come talk to me afterwards. Yahoo! And then finally, we're hosting workshops and events all throughout the year, right? Simultaneous to this conference itself at TCCA, we're actually hosting an intergenerational dialogue where we're imagining a future free of ageism. Recognizing that discrimination based on age is something that will impact us all, how can we design societies in a way that prevents us from falling into these degenerative cycles of thinking and rather see all ages as valuable and deeply precious to our community? And so this is happening simultaneous to us right now. Then in September, we'd love to also invite you to the Holistic Climate Solutions Summit that Tzu Chi is hosting in New York City. You can fly through or you can come virtually, and it will be both live streamed and in person, where we're exploring what the solutions we can take to help our world stop burning. Like we've been talking about climate change for so long. Everyone's really good at articulating what the problem is, right? But then when you ask what the solutions are, everyone's like, I don't want to commit, like it costs money. How do we get the finances, right? How do we get the people on the ground to do the right work in the right place? We're having 7 days of conversation on that. And so with that, I will close with some parting thoughts. Jack, how many minutes do I have?
I'll give you 2.
Okay, 2. Okay, I'm going to blitz through this, okay? 1, recognizing you guys are all leadership within TCCA. As you're thinking about how you can organize next year's college campus programs, think about your own poverty of imagination. Are you going to be recycling the same content year after year, or are you going to be trying to innovate, create new things? How do you get inspired? There's some resources here. From there, then, okay, that's the whole thing on poverty of imagination. Then, if you want to create change, you also need to have a theory of change, right? Oftentimes, we see the finish line, we see where we are right now, but we don't know what happens in between, right? So recognizing that this is something that you, within your own local chapter, needs to envision in order to support the communities you're helping go beyond their current situation, highly encourage you to check out some resources on theory for change. Then, we also, I don't know where my clicker is supposed to go. It's going somewhere. We also have to recognize that within the work that we're doing, there are unique roles for every person, right? You can't have every person be on stage speaking. I'm a really shy boy, but through 20 years of Tsuji, like they've kind of trained me and like brute forced me into being able to do public speaking. But it's not for everyone, right? And like if it's not for you, what is your strength? What is your role? And making sure that as you design your college activities, that you have roles, tasks that make everyone who is contributing and giving their precious time to help you do the work feel valued and cherished. And then finally, take care of yourselves. Self-care is important. Mental well-being is important. And this is a long haul, right? It's a community. So if you do need help, please do reach out to each other. This is very much a family. And so we're here for you. And with that, I'll close with just a reading list. And then I also have some slide decks. If you do want to communicate about the SDGs in the future, it's all there for you. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Steve. So all you can hear is like there's a lot of information, a lot of opportunities, and it really gets your heart racing, not just because the speed that he speaks. All right. So now we have the time for some quick Q&A. If you haven't had the chance to submit your questions, go ahead, scan that code again and submit that. We'll proceed with our first question. Your next slide, please. Oh, do you want to click it?
Oh, I got the clicker.
All right. So, after so many years, why are you still so hyper about Tsuji?
I think part personality, right? Like I'm just a very hyperactive person, but I think it also comes from a place of inspiration, right? Where you're like, amongst all of the organizations that we've been able to work with and engage with at the UN over the past 8 years, it's very rare to find an organization like Tsuji, right? It's very for like this surface level action, right? We see so many organizations that are like, oh, you do it for the gram, right? Or like you do it so that there's this moment where like you said you helped someone, right? You're telling your funders like, I did all this good work, but then it's like very business, very transactional, right? There's no like personal touch and warmth to it. And so I would say that what makes Tsuji unique, and it's not the only organization that does this, but it's one that I think really aspires to uphold this as a principal value, is there's a human warmth element to it that ensures that any person we interact with and engage with is left with a reverberating sense of empowerment, love, and care. And so I'm hyper because I think I've just been loved by the Tsuji community very much. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I think all of us can kind of have that same feeling, right? What makes Tsuji unique is because we are all cared for. We are in this loving environment that that we have received this love and that we're willing to give this love out and to care for more people. And it's not just a once and done thing. For those of you who have joined the disaster relief, it's a different feeling that when you're handing out that cash card, that blanket, then a couple of months later, go visit them and check to see how they're doing. Maybe see them again a year later. You can see the growth, and that growth is really encouraging. And from my personal experience, seeing their how they progress, how they take our aid and able to lift themselves out of the situation, and eventually maybe even help the communities that they live in. I think that's really what gets the ball rolling, and that's really gets my blood pumping. Next question is, what is your most memorable experience outside of DDOS?
So in 2015, when you say memorable, the first thing that I think of is a poop shower. So in 2015, or 16, I believe it was 16, Hurricane Matthew had hit the bulk of both Texas and then also had impacted Haiti. And so part of like my relief work, I flew out to Haiti and Jeremy to like work with these local communities to like identify like what they needed. They needed a shelter. The thing they needed the most was just they needed roofs over their heads. And so we worked together with them to bring the community together and build these shelters together rather than like trying to rely on like outside contractors, all of that, right? But through that process, we were staying at a hotel that because of the flooding and the hurricanes that had come through, the sewage system leaked into the water systems. And so for 2 days, whenever you opened up the water shower, it was just raw sewage coming out, and it had a very distinct smell. So in terms of most memorable, probably not the most inspiring though.
I know, sometimes it's not always the good that you remember. Sometimes the bad things you remember really well. I remember one of my experience, when I was working for TCCA at the Medical Foundation, I had the opportunity to go to Bolivia to plan out a distribution and also a medical outreach. It was kind of tiring work because during the daytime I'm going out with them, and then nighttime I'm doing all the documentation, the administrative work, and sending all the stuff back to Taiwan. So my hours, I jokingly said, I was working from 5 a.m. to 3 a.m. But so one night, I remember I was about to take a shower. Like, they say they were out of hot water, so I went to the kitchen, pick up a kettle, thinking, oh, might as well just boil some water so I can take a shower and clean myself. And when I brought that kettle to the bathroom and opened it up, it's like, this is a very distinctive smell, like something very familiar. Yeah. And then I look at the color, it's like, oh, this is a pot of coffee that they have prepared for the breakfast next day. Of course, I did not take a shower with coffee. All right, so our next question here. Let me switch it back to here.
I think it's really as you go abroad, though, you begin to realize how lucky we are in the States, right? Like, there's such a preciousness to life and like a simplicity to how we can live, and there's an opportunity to experience that, right? Like, being back at the Jingsi abode and like living with the Dharma masters for like weeks on end and watching them model this like Jingsi lifestyle, which is like so simplistic, so tranquil, and like self-sufficient, right? They're like farming out the food themselves. They're working the fields. Everything from like the bathrooms are being cleaned by them by hand. Like, everything is on you, right? And in that self-reliance, you find that there's a richness to your life that you don't necessarily need all these distractions that may exist in where we find ourselves every single day, but that there's like a simple, pure joy in simply like being present with our bodies and living in that moment.
Right. And if you ever had the chance to go back to the abode, I would definitely recommend that. You'll see how simple life can be and how fulfilling it can be as well. Okay. So our next question here is, among the priorities, how are they chosen when there's so many of them?
Yeah, and so it's really based on like where we're operating country level wise, right? Like, first and foremost, recognizing that there's these 17 sustainable development goals, they're all deeply interconnected, right? Like, as I'm working on poverty alleviation, because we're teaching people how to plant and like farm, we can also take that same opportunity and give them climate smart agriculture education, right? And we can give them early warning system infrastructure to ensure that when climate change, the climate does change, their farm crops are protected, right? And so it's like there is that interconnected nature to all 17 of these like priorities. But then as you work with the community, what you'll find is typically they want something, right? And whatever that something is that they want, as you keep asking the question of like, why? Like that little annoying little brother who's like, why do we do this? Why do we do this? Why do we do this? And as you get to the root of it, right, there's usually one like action that you can begin to take that will then blossom into these other things. Yeah, so in order to find the priority, you must ask the people you are designing for and working with.
Right. It means that it's very important to ask for feedback for the community that you're trying to serve. Like, for example, myself, I'm a dentist. So for my patients, I always want to ask them, what is their goal? What are they looking forward to? What is something that they wanted to achieve as a result? Because I can fix all sorts of things, but if it's not something they want, they're not going to be happy with it, and they're not going to take care of it. So through the process, you're guiding them so that they, step by step, you're achieving their goal, and you are educating them, teaching them so that the same thing doesn't happen again. Or if something happens again, they have the resiliency to bounce back.
And I think that is a level of respect, right? Like, you have to respect the person you're working with in order to extend that question of like, what do you need and what do you want? Because it's very easy, I think, in our current structures of how we live as society, simply just to say, I'm here to do a task, and that's what you're gonna get, right? Like, you pay me money, I do the thing, right? But perhaps that's not what they're looking for. Perhaps they are actually just looking for that human connection that belies a sense of respect.
Right. So on a lighter note, one of our audience asked, can you grow your hair again, please?
I grew my hair out for 2 years during the pandemic. It went all the way down to here. And it was such an interesting way. It was how time passed, right? Because it was such a strange time. We're all in front of our computers, and so I used the track time. But as I was growing it out, I realized like every day showering is such a like bother and a pain, you know, like I got to shower it all and then like blow dry. And if I don't blow dry, then I wake up with a headache. It was like every single conventional complication to long hair that people had told me about. And I experienced it, you know. And so similarly, I think as we hear about suffering, it's one thing to hear about it and like we can intellectually understand it, but it's another thing to like physically go somewhere and like put ourselves in the shoes of other people who are suffering that plight and experience that pain, which then it allows us to use the resources and ingenuity we have to work together to design the solutions we want for them, or they want for them.
Yeah, and kind of a confession. When I first joined TCCA, I was a blonde. Okay, that was the first time ever I bleached my hair, and then somehow it just happened that I joined TCCA around the same time. All right, so another quick question here. How did you learn to public speak so well?
So I started public speaking at 7 years old. So what we would do is we'd host these tea parties, right? Where like we'd invite community members to like learn more about Tzuji's work, and then they'd like ask some people to come up onto like our front, like in front of the TV, which was like our stage, right, and share. And I think with all skills, public speaking really is a skill. It doesn't matter like intellectually if you're like terrified of it or not. Once you have the tools, the resources, and knowledge of how to do it, and you begin to take the actions, I think it begins to allow for you to get better at it. So it's just practice, and then finding a community that supports you in this endeavor so you don't feel like you're doing it alone.
And I think that's very important, because supporting each other, having that community, in Tzu there's plenty of opportunity to practice public speaking, but sometimes what prevented us from doing so is the fear of making a mistake. So having the community that supports you no matter what you do, even if you did say something wrong, they will help cover you up. They will help you guide it back to the correct way. That is how you learn and do practice. Right. So, say.
For sure. And I think we're also closing out, right? So just final thoughts on my side. Deeply grateful to you all. We're very much this one big Tzu family. So I'll be here for all of conference. If you guys are interested, feel free to just come up, chat. Happy to talk more. Also, our team is hiring 2 people. So post-graduation, if you're interested in working for GPAD, please do reach out as well. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, Steve, for your sharings. Thank you all so much. And like I said, if there's any more questions you'd like to ask, feel free to reach out to him throughout the conference. We also have a little career fair that we'll have a little booth. Don't make him look lonely sitting there. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Steve and Jack, for such a wonderful class. Can we get another huge round of applause for them? Oh man, every time I listen to Steve talk, it's just like, it fills me with so much excitement. Not just because of how fast he talks, but also just like how passionate he is for all of the things that he does for Tzu. And so finally, just to wrap up before lunch, just think about everything that you learned today this morning. We talked a lot about community, both of community within our local chapters, but also think about how you all belong to a community of larger, broader Tzu family, and how we can all grow within this family and how we can all apply everything that we learned today. And now I would like to pass it to Iroh, our lead attendee, for lunchtime.
Yay, it's lunch. Woo! All right, so lunch is pretty similar to dinner yesterday. We'll be lining up outside the graduate hall, and we will be doing chanting. So you are encouraged to join us, but if you do not feel comfortable, feel free to just put your palms at the bottom and just join us as we walk outside to the courtyard. So please make sure, grab your EPKs and make sure that your desk and tables and chairs is facing forward and neat, as well as camp bags are under the table.